Have you ever felt like there's something more to life than what you see? Like there's something deeper behind it all? In this video, I'll share what a spiritual awakening is, but I'll also show you practical steps where you can take the journey towards it, and it'll help like guide you through it. Hi, my name is Emily, and welcome to my channel. What is a spiritual awakening? A spiritual awakening to me is like one day you just snap out of, all of your past programming and you realize that things are not as they seem. And so it's like you're able to not just go surface level, but like go to a deeper and meaningful level. And you have like this more expansive mind now where you can, and more space where you can, learn more and be like, oh, like, for example, for me. So I used to just completely ignore like politics, the government. It was just, it would always cause me so much stress. But now, like, that I, have a spiritual awakening, and then it was like then I was able to it's almost like I had more expansion and more space in my life where I could take on, learning more about it and just being like clear so I wasn't living under a rock. Because for the longest time I was like, I don't want to hear about any of it. Like it's just most of the time it's negative, and I just didn't want to, do anything or hear anything about it. And I just was like happy in my little bubble. But once I had my spiritual awakening, then I was like, okay, no, I actually want to learn more about this, like, and what's actually going on in society and the world as a whole. Because then you just like, you're able to just have more expansive, like, a mind. And I know that's not like probably everyone's spiritual awakening, but it's just like, it's almost like your world gets shattered open, and it's like now you can like go listen and learn and research new things. And just, this could be also around like conspiracy theories. Like, well, people are like, well, this is the actual deeper meaning, but it's like now you're able to kind of, be like, okay, it might happen, where in the past you're like, there's no way that could happen. And so now it's like you're just being like open and more conscious. So it's not just your subconscious running your life. And so like you're conscious with yourself and with the world and with other people, and it's like then you're able to like have shifts and perspectives of on different things. So it's like it just allows you to be more open, and like you're able to now, create your inner self and your inner being and like relate with it to the universe. This could be also around manifesting, like you're raising your frequency as in the process of like now you're matching what the universe wants for you or what you want for yourself. But it's like raising your vibration up so that the universe knows what you want, if that makes sense. Some potential triggers that can cause a spiritual awakening are like major life changing events. So this could be like, yeah, like a near death experience. This could be like an accident where, you didn't make it, or it could be like losing somebody that's close to you. This could be, your life is just hit rock bottom. And it doesn't have to be a super intense like rock bottom, like where you almost died, but it also could be a rock bottom as in you're sick, and it's like your body's and your inner self is sick and tired of the way you've been going, because you say you want something specific, but yet you're not going for it. So therefore the like your inner self needs to show you that you need to hit bottom so that you're sick of it and like take action towards whatever it is that you do want. And this could also be just, yeah, just like major events mostly. But like you can have this, for me, I think it was more like I hit rock bottom where I was just so sick and tired of being where I was at. And I didn't feel like I was progressing. I was like, well, why can't I have that? Like, that's what I want. But yet it was almost like of half-assing going for that, specific thing. So it's just like, it's just sometimes it can be just something very, it doesn't have to be something really specific, but it can be something where you're like, I have to change, life has to change, or you've just been in the mode of like researching a lot and wanting to, better yourself. And sometimes it can just happen because of that. Or another thing, which is like the feeling of emptiness, like in your body, where you have all this external success. So it's like you're not happy with yourself. So this can help create a trigger to, to move past this because you're, in a slump, basically. Remember, growth happens when we step outside our comfort zones. Spiritual awakening is all about like you realizing how powerful you are and that you are divine and super special, and that your inner self and your universe can connect with each other and create such a anything. You can literally do anything because it creates this powerful bond and frequency, and it's just like very magical. Signs of a spiritual awakening. So you may have like a disconnected feeling between like old habits, old friends, like people that are not aligned with you. Or this could be, you just, yeah, you just don't, your old ways, like a being where like now you don't want to be that way. Like I've heard some men who are womanizers end up not being womanizers because they're like, oh, that's not actually how I want my life to go. It could also be a disconnection of beliefs or thoughts. So this could be like you going, oh, well, like the partying scene is a good thing for me because I'm having fun and just, you know, I, I feel connected. But then it's all of a sudden, once you have a spiritual awakening, like that partying is no longer fun. And you want actual, like, true connections, or you want to create your life to be amazing and, just rise up, like, through finance or high frequency or just to better yourself. And it's like and you find that those parties just leave you alone, or they don't have any meaning to them, or they don't really put you in a positive state, and it's like because 'cause you're either having to recover from being hungover or whatever, so it's like you start realizing that those are not actually important. You actually start realizing what actually is important in your life. Another sign would be like a heightened self-awareness, like you're starting to become more aware, and it's also like becoming more observant, either with both, the outside world and your inner world. So it's like you start being more observant with your emotions or the patterns you're keep repeating, or like the way you're being with other people. So you start becoming more aware and observant. So another one would be, you start finding yourself, you want to be more in solitude or isolated, and you want to be out in nature more, or you want to just be somewhere where you can have some peace. Where when the past where like you wouldn't like to be alone. And so now all of a sudden you're like, no, I want to be alone because I want to work on myself and I want to separate myself from people so I can see what I actually truly want. And it's just something like I found, like I'm normally an extroverted person, and I thought like me going to parties and going to events was super important, but I started realizing that like the solitude, or like finding like a, I don't know, a trip where like I get to like just focus on myself and I'm not going where normally they are. And I'm just starting to realize it's like it's something that's super important, and it's like I everyone needs to be isolated to grow in a way, because then you're able to sit with yourself and your emotions and just be free to feel them, if that makes sense. Another sign would be synchronicities. So you start seeing numbers like 111 or 1111 or 222 or 333, so on and so on. And so these are all like you're starting to see more things happen. Like the more you take action, towards what your soul's purpose is, then like you'll start noticing that you'll see a lot of these numbers on repeat. And sometimes you're just like, oh, that's crazy. Like I just saw 1111, or it keeps coming up, or you saw 111, or 110, or sorry, 111. And it's just like, and it's just funny because you'll be like, oh my gosh, so I see that again. Or just like you'll see certain signs and be like, oh, this is what I'm meant to be doing. Like this is I I'm on the path, So it's just like it's crazy, but I know the synchronicity, they pop up so much more. Like I never took a notice of any of them. And it's like maybe it's because I'm more heightened and more aware and more observant. But it's just like I'm starting to notice like more synchronicities in my life. Like, oh, this is where I'm supposed to be, or how I'm supposed to be doing things. And another sign is like the craving and desire for a purposeful life, or finding your purpose, or finding like what lights you up or what's important to you, and just working on that. You ask questions like, why are we here? Like, what's the meaning of life? Like, the deeper meaning of life and your purpose here on earth. Here's some ways of how to begin a spiritual awakening. So, this could be practicing self honesty. So, you're asking questions like, am I living the way I want to, or am I living for someone else, or the opinions of others, or, the programming of what my parents wanted me to be, kind of thing like that. But it's also asking questions like, you know, where am I being inauthentic in life? Where can I be more authentic? Or like, how can I be more self-expressed? Where like I want to be self-expressed without thinking of the judgment of others. It's like just taking, small actions as well. And so, yeah, just being truly honest with yourself and just be willing to ask a lot of questions. And so I'll give you a few more questions. Like, am I happy with the direction of my life? Or what am I avoiding or suppressing? Or like what actually makes me happy? Like start writing those down, like write a journal and be like, all right, and start letting yourself think of like these, this what makes you up, like what inspires you without like the beliefs or the thoughts of others, just like you purely going, all right, what do I actually want as well. Another one would be cultivating stillness through meditation. So meditation is huge. So even if it's only, let's say, like 5 minutes a day, just sitting quiet in your body, just like letting your mind, observe the thoughts, like don't overthink them. Just let what comes through. Because when you're meditating, you're not going to be able to stop the thoughts from coming. Because the more you tell your thoughts to stop, the more they're going to come. And so, like, I learned this myself. So I'm sitting there going, like, gosh, why can't I quiet my mind? You don't have to quiet your mind, but like, it's just give yourself, some quiet time for at least 5 minutes a day, at least, and the more the better. But even just 5 minutes of just quieting yourself and your body, then you're able to just like maybe reflect or it's amazing. Even in 5 minutes, you can also all of a sudden like have all these like revelations like, oh, and this and that. And so there's times when I'm in like meditation and I'm like, I ask myself a question and it's almost like I'm able to answer it through that 5 minutes. But I mean, like the more you do it, the more, consistent and the more habits and the calmer you will be, the less reactive you'll be. Like meditation is such a powerful tool. I had no idea. I honestly thought it was BS for quite a while until I started realizing there's a change in me the more I did it. And it's just like, I just it's like a peace inside you. It's like the feeling of being content. And it's like I use apps like Insight, but there's also like Headspace. Like you can even go on YouTube and be like meditation for, I don't know, like an inner child healing, or you could look up yeah, or even like a just like a frequency, something like a healing frequency, like 432, or there's so many, but it's like look up like healing frequencies, and like it'll put you in like a calm state even after just 5 minutes of listening to it. So if you're, I suggest to create like a habit out of it. But if you, let's say you're having like an anxiety issue or something and you just need to step away for like 5 minutes, just put that on for 5 minutes. It's amazing what it does to calm you. Or even if, let's say, for me, what I find if I am very busy and I start getting like really, have a lot of anxiety, then I'll go put on the healing frequency music and just start doing work around the house, like doing laundry or something. Because either way, I don't just have to sit in silence. I can walk around and do some stuff, so I feel like I'm productive, but I'm also calming my mind at the same time. Another one would be exploring your inner child. Well, shoot. Doesn't everybody want to remember like a lot of the fun times you had as a child? It's like reconnecting. Like, what did you enjoy, back when you were a kid? Like, did you want to become a dancer? Did you enjoy dancing? Did you enjoy playing outside in nature? Like, bring back like those ideas of like what did you actually enjoy when you were a kid, and how could you create more of that in your life? Because like I know we're adults, a lot of us are adults, but it's like you don't have to necessarily act like an adult. Like you still can have that inner child spirit and just be free and just but still, take care of the responsibilities you have as an adult. But it's like I feel like as society we're told we have to be adults, we have to be like super responsible all the time and you can't have fun. But life is supposed to be fun. It's short. So like let's enjoy life. So I'm working on like being more, as a child and having fun and like cracking jokes or, stuff like that. Just being fun, like, making people laugh because that's fun. Because then it makes people smile and get out of their head for that brief moment. So it's just like, for me, it's like dancing, singing, just flowing with things and just enjoying life. Just try to bring more joy and childlike, like activities back in your life because you'll see a difference. Promise. Another one would be disconnecting from the external noise. So this could be, like, unplug from daily, like social media, like, stay off of your phone for a few hours. Like if you can, put it down and like just and breathe in the freedom because we're so attached to like our phones that they suck us into, scrolling on social media, answering texts all the time, like not giving yourself any space. So just allow yourself some space from technology. It'll give you like a inner peace and like, don't maybe not like before bed, like stay off your phone and give yourself like, like maybe journal or meditate before bed so that you go into sleep in like a peaceful condition, instead of like a dopamine hit where like it keep you awake or blue light, anything like that. Like just try to unplug from like technology and life and the news and politics and just anything, that doesn't fuel or fill your soul with like happiness and love. But yeah, just remember like social media is not the best for us. Yes, I know a lot of us have to use it for business, like me included, but I'd rather not have to use it because it sucks me in really fast. But it's like find activities that are like, go in the nature, allow yourself to have some solitude and peace and quiet and like maybe create like a comfortable like place in your house where you can go and just like sit there for like 10 to 15 minutes just to be in peace, just something. Or it can be like go sit on the beach and watch the waves roll in for like 30 minutes, or go walk on the grass somewhere, just put just your bare feet on the ground just to ground you. It's amazing. Even just 20 minutes or 10 minutes can like reduce the, anxiety or the stress in your body. Another one would be practicing using your intuition. So this would be, asking yourself like simple questions, like yes or no questions, and seeing how those feel in your body. Or this could be like because it's like your body will tell you whether it thinks it should or not. And so a lot of times we justify, "Oh, well, I should stay in this relationship because they're good to me, or they provide for me or whatever it is, and when it's actually a toxic relationship where if you're literally trying to justify you being in that relationship, then it probably should be a no. Like if it's not a hard yes, then a lot of times like all the other things should be a definite no, even if it's a maybe. So it's like just like be able to sit and be like, what truly what truly does my heart want and my body want? Like yeah, does it make you feel sick if you think you're supposed to say yes to something, or you feel anxiety or panic for fear of missing out or fear of hurting somebody else, like being like, I don't want to go. Like just say, hey, I just don't want to go today, and be okay with that. But it's like learning to listen to your intuition of what your body's telling you so that you can start making bigger decisions, knowing that your body's actually telling you it should be a yes or a no. Another one would be to journal and to uncover truths, or just journal in general. So for me, this is super powerful. I love journaling, and because sometimes, like, I don't even realize that things are bothering me, except for I feel like an anxiety, and so I know I gotta, like, write it out because, I have no idea what's gonna come out of me when I'm writing, but it's just something where I can, like, either ask myself, my higher self questions, or be able to just write whatever is on my mind without any judgment. And so, like, only I'm going to see that paper. So it's like it's allowing yourself to be say truly what you feel, because a lot of times when you're journaling, it's amazing how, like, you can dissolve your anger, your frustration, your pain, your upset, and be like, okay, well, what steps could I take? Like, or if you're bitter or mad at somebody, or you're jealous of somebody, you can start writing, like, maybe ask yourself why you're jealous of that person. Like, what is it that they have that you want? And then you could always ask yourself, well, what would be the steps so I can not be that person, but create a life like that so that it works for you. But it's like we sit and compare ourselves to people all the time, and it's just like it's tough because I get it, and it's like it creates negativity in your mind, like you're in lack, like you already don't have it, and or you don't have it. And so it's just like journaling it out sometimes. It's like, oh, okay, I actually could take steps to, you know, be like that person, but not be that person, if that makes sense. So it's because you want to be your unique individual self, because you are super special and powerful yourself. So it's like it's amazing, like, what comes out of you when you're journaling. Like, I find that is a huge help. You can also ask yourself questions in the journaling, and see what comes up. You never know what's going to come out, like, if you until you ask yourself those questions. Embracing new perspectives. This is a big one because I've been learning a lot of different perspective shifts lately. Like, let's say I'm mad at somebody because they're not showing up to things that are important to me, but, like, I never think about the perspective of either what they're going through, or did I communicate it to them that it was important. Things like that. I needed to be able to look at and shift my perspective and be like, oh, they have a lot of stuff going on as well. Did I actually communicate to them that I want them there? Or am I just mad at them and they have no idea why I'm mad at them? It's just seeing perspective, like, because we all have stuff that's going on. We all forget things. Um, we all make mistakes sometimes, and we all assume things about people that are not necessarily true. And so we have it in our head, and sometimes we get mad at them, and they have no clue why we're even mad at them. So it's just like turning around the perspective of, okay, well, what might they be going through that I'm not seeing, or maybe even ask them and be like, hey, like, the next time I have this is important to me, would you be willing to show up or something? But don't do it in, like, a critical or a negative manner, like, where you're, like, yelling at them or being mad at them. But it's like, remember that, like, it's also your responsibility to tell them what's important to you, like your wants, your needs, whatever, or desires, or anything, especially if it's like a relationship or something. And so, but yeah, it's just like you're embracing, like, different shifts. So it's like you could listen to different podcasts on, like, manifesting and meditation, like some empowering people. Gary V. I've been listening to him a lot lately. Even Tony Robbins. Like, it's just ways to think about things or shift your mind, so that you create the way that you want your life to go. Another one would be practicing gratitude. So this is something that I find is very important because it can make you go from lack to abundance. And so it's just like realizing what you do have, and the opportunities you have had, or the fact that you are able to wake up, something simple like that. Or it could be like, oh, I worked out today. It's just like it's creating a gratitude for everything you do have. Like, if you're married, like, be grateful for your spouse. If you have kids, like, be grateful that you have kids. Like, I know they might all annoy you at one point, but it's still the fact that you even are able to have kids, or you have a husband, or a lot of people are very lonely and want a significant other. So just like remember the perspective of that. But it's like being grateful that you have a house over your head or a roof over your head. And so, because there's some people out there that don't. So it's like, it's just being in gratitude with everything. And it's like, it's amazing how your life will go from lack to abundance. But so, like, keep at it. And it's like, you just do something simple like 3 gratitude, things a day. So you just say them to yourself either out loud or to yourself, or journal them out at least every day. And it won't take you very long, but it's like it'll get you used to creating abundance. Sorry. It will open you up to receiving more. Facing your shadows or shadow work. This is just acknowledging the parts of yourself that you've been avoiding or suppressing, like patterns that you keep repeating that you don't like, and or relationships you keep getting in that you don't like, or like if you're an empath, you're like, why am I keep attracting narcissists? It's just like getting in like deep into like why am I getting triggered by this person, or why do I keep attracting this person? And like you're able to, if you work at it, you're able to figure out, how to heal that or what to work on, or because you don't always necessarily heal it 100%. You may and you may not, and that's okay. But it's like, it's just noticing like, why is somebody triggering me? Like, is there something in me that I don't like that they're doing? So it's just like, just being aware and being okay with like diving deep in yourself, to, yeah, to heal. Is like, you're not fixing yourself, but it's just to work on yourself to make yourself better as a person. Like spending time in silence or at a retreat. Like, so some of these healing retreats can bring the best out of you, or help, give you an opportunity to talk to somebody, or you can do exercises, obviously at the retreat that help pull out some things you weren't even aware of. And it's like the more you're just aware of things, the easier it is to go throughout life, because then you know what's going on, or you know that when that happens, maybe what to do next time. And so it's just like, but sitting in silence gives you the opportunity to be one with yourself and your thoughts and your body and into your heart, and figure out like what you truly want, or what lights you up, or like, work on like, if you're upset, allowing yourself to be like, it's okay. And you're telling yourself it is okay. So it's just like, there's so many different ways to, when you're in silence or at a retreat, that you can learn from. Another one would be seeking mentorship or guidance. So this could be just finding like a spiritual mentor, or somebody who's already gone through what you want to do, because they've actually achieved it. Or this could be like finding a therapist or a life coach, or just somebody that can help elevate you through like conversation, or showing you the ropes, or things like that. But it's like, it's super important to be able to have somebody to talk to, or have accountability with them, because sometimes they're able to shift your perspective of the way of looking at things, which is huge. And so like sometimes they're super important, because maybe they see something that you don't see. So yeah, just super helpful. Be open to letting go. So this one I know is a tough one, 'cause sometimes some of us like to be control freaks like me. So, just like being okay with like letting go of relationships, habits, old ways of thinking, just like, yeah, relationships, or like people that are negative in your life that, you're not going to change. But it's like sometimes you're just like, I just can't be around this person on a regular. But it's like, be okay with letting them go, because sometimes it's better for both of you, because you've kind of been dependent on each other, but not always the case. But yeah, it allows you to grow, and it may hurt, but it's like it can give you the freedom to be yourself and be who you want to be without the opinions of others. You can be something like, I release the fear of letting go of somebody. And it's like, this allows you to, it's almost like giving you permission to let them go. So this is like, just be open to it. Working on balancing your nervous system. So this could be, for me, like can get, stressed out pretty easily or overwhelmed or like nerves or just anxiety. And so it's like a ways to calm that down is like this helps the foundation for spiritual growth because then you're not, overthinking and stuck in your head, or you're not super tight where you're causing your body to kind of be in a fight or flight mode. So it's like this could be like cold showers, which is really good. I hear after 2 weeks it's supposed to be really good for your health. Yeah, I know I don't really care for them, but I do them occasionally. But it's almost like it just like refreshes your body in a way and your mind, but also like doing breathing techniques is very helpful. And then like maybe even doing like a walk in nature or doing something like grounding your feet on the in the dirt or in the grass barefoot. And it's like very replenishing. So it's very important to have a calm nervous system in our life. Embracing vulnerability and trusting the process. This one is a very hard one for me, but I know it's very necessary for me. So it's like allowing myself to open up truly, like who I am, what I want, allow my voice to show. And it's just like letting go of control and or letting go of the restrictions people have put on me in the past because only I am the one who's allowing that to happen because they're not actually in control. So but yeah, it's just like, and it's also kind of like having the patience to just allow things to happen, like trust the process, trust the journey, enjoy the journey. Like, because I like to force an outcome and be like, well, I want to be there now. And so a lot of times because of that, like, it's like the universe like is like not allowing me to have it because I'm like, oh, but I want it to happen now. And I'm trying to force it where instead, like, need to go with the process, still take the actions, but allow things to happen the way they're supposed to because there's something I'm probably learning before I get to that certain place that I want to go. But yeah, so trust the process and have the faith and just sit back and be like, okay, this is where I'm supposed to be now. Trust that every step you take is getting you closer to your truth and to what you want to do or be. Awakenings start with openness, the willingness to learn, the willingness to let go, and just being in the process and allowing things to happen. I would love to hear from you in the comments below. Like, have you had a spiritual awakening? Like, what are you going through, or how can I help, or do you want to have a spiritual awakening, or like, do you not know what to do next? Like, we can just like have a conversation down below, and I'd love to hear from you. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more info. And I will be putting out another video about how to integrate after you've had a spiritual awakening. So stay tuned. Remember, everything you need is already within you for a spiritual awakening. And just remember to trust yourself. You are where you need to be right now.